I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any adjustments or addendums to the agenda?
I do. On 4.1, Mary picked up on this. It's 4.1 is report out of executive session. It should say no action taken, not no meeting. So if you just correct that. And I want to add a 7.4 prior to executive session. Let's call 7.4 snow day makeup plan. Just a couple of things to have you think about. Be brief. And a quick announcement that Judy Shane is on her way and that Jeanette's running the meeting. Thank you, Jeanette. And Jen Goodwin won't be with us tonight. She'll take minutes from the video. And that's it.
Okay, so now we have any comments from the public? No public? Okay. Come sit down. And then we have Celebration of Learning, the boys and girls basketball team. What are you going to show us?
Wow, Mrs. Scully, our AD
well, we should take it into the gym, but no, Mr. Ross invited us to come because we had an absolutely outstanding season. Not everybody's here tonight, obviously because of the weather, but the boys team was actually 6-5, so they had a winning record. So 11 players who consistently came to games and practices, so that was excellent. They were coached by Mr. Matt Girton. The girls team, we were 4-6. But we had 7 players who had never played before, so we started. The 4 who have played actually brought them up, and 3 of our games that we lost, we only lost by 5 or less points. Ooh. So they were absolutely outstanding. So, yeah, they were absolutely, to watch the boys and girls from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, and Mr. Ross can attest to that because he came to some practices. I mean, absolutely amazing progress that these kids made, from defense to offense to everything. And the sportsmanship too that Acton shows is outstanding. When you go to other schools and you can see what our kids do, it's absolutely fantastic. And I want to thank the school board for supporting sports because it is huge. A third of the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders played basketball. 62% of the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders played soccer. And we have quite a few signed up for softball so far, and hopefully enough for baseball. So, and I know a lot of kids go on to high school to play sports. They might not play the sports we have here, but I know there's some kids who join the cross country team. They just love being involved in sports and being part of that atmosphere. So I think it's really important. So I just want to introduce the ones who are here to acknowledge them. So Brooke Williams, can you stand up for a second and show yourself? An 8th grader who will be leading us. Addison Long, 6th grader. Isaiah Phillips, 6th grader. Trenton Rankin, 7th grader. Winter Ham, 7th grader. Adam's first time, Adam Whalen, 8th grade. And I believe, Adam, you said as an 8th grader you're going to play all 3 sports, right? Awesome. Good for Adam. Awesome. Great. Kyle Demers, 8th grader. Gage Chikalis, 8th grader. Glenn Chikalis, 8th grader. Izzy Maxfield, 7th grader. And Brooke Brown, 7th grade as well. She'll be back. So, and I just want to mention the kids who aren't here so I can get their name. We have AJ Amato, who's not here, Alex Cookson, Logan Moulton, Aaron Crawford, Riley Watson to end out the boys team. And then girls team, Caroline and Ella. Caroline and Ella Duskowski just walked in. Taylor Watson. Let's see. Cadence Mitchell, Allie Long, and Simone Gallagher, who aren't here tonight. But the kids came out, and we're actually going to go in the gym and play some basketball for an hour and a half or so. Yes, they missed me so much.
Who was the girls' coach?
I was.
Oh,
I was.
Thank you.
Coach. And along with Lindsay Crawford was my assistant.
They really had a great. You guys had
there's
a great
question.
Oh, no, I didn't have a question. I was just waving.
Yeah. I mean, it's It's a long 3 months,
Yeah.
but it's a good 3 months because they're working out, they're getting exercise, they're spending more time with me than they are their own parents. But it's a good time. It's a great time for them to be out and about, especially during the winter season. So thank you again for your support because it wouldn't happen if you didn't support
Well,
the sports
I'd like
program.
them all to continue with sports at the high school level. It's healthy choices,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Very
Sure they
good.
all will.
Be active.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Okay.
Awesome season. Tomorrow, guys, tomorrow.
Be careful.
Good job, guys.
You gotta say, have a wonderful and something Wednesday morning. Start practicing.
Snowy morning.
Snowy morning.
Winter Eve.
Maybe you gotta sit over there, because I think your head's in the, picking up.
Let me get right out.
We're gonna bring you right to the table when we get to the budget, my friend. Don't you worry.
All right.
Okay, that was good. All right, so now we had the consent agenda, and we had the correction, no action taken out of the executive session. Anybody have any other questions about the rest of the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as written and changed.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Okay, well, I have a question, just a, okay.
Well, that's the
On-
next one.
Yeah, on the generator.
Yes.
How old is that generator? I remember voting for it, but I don't remember you talk about having it checked, the maintenance and,
The generator itself, I'm not sure of the year, but it was a used generator when we
yeah,
acquired it.
yeah.
I want to say it's like late 90s vintage.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you check the oil, you
Yeah,
maintain
most of
all
the
that
regular,
stuff.
regular maintenance stuff we do, well, I do it myself.
Yeah,
But I have spoken with a couple contractors. I'd like to have them come in and just test all of the electrical side of the generator itself.
yeah,
So what I'm looking for is like an annual preventative maintenance contract on just a certain part of the generator, just to, as a,
Yeah, oh, I understand,
precautionary
yeah,
measure
yeah,
more than
yeah.
anything.
And
There's
it-
nothing wrong with it, it's running perfect.
yeah.
Um,
When does it start itself up, on Saturday morning? Do you do?
Every Tuesday,
Oh,
every Tuesday
Tuesday.
afternoon at like
Oh,
1:40.
yeah. Nice to hear that thing purred, isn't it? I
Yeah,
have one, and
yeah.
boy, do I love that
It
on
runs
Saturday
awesome.
morning.
Just barely tell when it comes on, like unless if you know it, you don't notice it.
No,
And
no.
on Tuesday around 2 o'clock, I'm like, oh yeah, the generator just kicked on, because I'm a little bit aware of it, but it's seamless. It's like changing a channel on a TV, you don't even really notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah, we gotta keep that thing in motion,
Absolutely.
especially on days like maybe tomorrow.
So
Okay.
positive.
We have progress monitoring reports. Any questions?
Does anyone else have any questions?
Right, I know, just.
I don't.
I mean, I have a couple comments.
Questions from
Questions?
Mary today?
He's gonna say something.
Just a couple of things, that the bus bids went out and they're due next week. So we're looking forward to seeing some bus bids for the contract that expires June 30th of this year. Winter Carnival is scheduled for Friday. Friday is a early release day per contract. Kids are out of here at 12:30, so the day has been scheduled for Winter Carnival. And looking out the window, I think we might be in good shape for that. And then after that, February break for the kids begins that Monday, so they'll have next week off. And the 100th day of school
Oh, yeah.
might be Thursday, but I just realized I have a lot of power. I can change the 100th day of school tomorrow. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna put that on my resume, because I had no idea that by canceling school tomorrow, if that's what happens with the weather, that I've changed the 100th day of school and pushed it off to Friday.
Have that power.
It's amazing. I'm just beaming. It's too
Right
much.
now, it would be Wednesday though, wouldn't it? No?
It would be
No,
Thursday.
it would be Thursday.
And it's also, what's happening on Thursday? Valentine's Day, which is a big day in an elementary school. So the 100th day of school and Valentine's on one day might be too much to take. Maybe we'll just have to cancel tomorrow to change it. I don't know. And that's it from me. And no progress monitoring reports this evening, because we're going to go into budget session.
Okay, so now we have long-range planning. Anybody have anything?
We did not meet.
Okay. So then we can go,
Those
policies.
Yeah, you guys are on the policy committee.
yeah.
Yep.
We must have got them written.
I received
Comments?
one question from the board as we were doing that, and it was about, what does this policy cover? And my response was, it's about private or charter schools, like not the run-of-the-mill public school, such as Sanford High School. But when people want to send their kids to a private school, approved private school under the main DOE list.
But I'm saying, we didn't have a policy prior?
No.
We have the contract with Sanford and the superintendent's
And
agreement, but we
in
don't.
that contract, it says you can agree with other schools, or?
No, it
There
says you
was
go-
definitely
Says you go to
something.
Sanford.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
there was
but-
definitely something that we went through, some type of regulation or something.
No, it was just in the contract.
The contract states that like up to 10% of the kids can go to another school.
Right.
Okay, which is kind of a standard policy, but this school never actually had a policy, so.
See, I feel we did, because I had to go by it in
No.
order to get my kid to Noble.
So there's a couple.
Well, they're
things-
almost
yeah.
public.
That's public school.
That's
Oh,
that's
That's
a
a superintendent's agreement.
But we didn't have something like that either?
So you have a contract with Sanford that says, this is how we're going to work with Sanford, all conditions are within that
Right.
contract, but that's not policy.
No.
Then we don't have a policy in regards to sending kids to private schools. And actually, I want to give Sharon some credit.
Yeah.
Sharon's the one who brought this to Kim and I and said, hey, you might want to tighten this up a little bit because it's not free school of choice. And you might want to put together a policy that's based on policies across the state from Maine School Management that kind of dictates when and how somebody can choose a private school. And remember, 10% of our population that goes to high school is like 8 children.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about a lot of kids here. You know, it's up to 8 kids. And if you have twins, you know, there's, is that 20% of the population, you know?
But remember when they went to Berwick Academy?
Yeah.
That's kind of what refers to this.
And
It's
where did you
different.
find this policy to
I got
copy
it down
from?
from Maine School.
Maine School
Management.
Management.
And then basically, it does follow suit where, the other issues that had come up is when a parent wants to send them to a private school, now there's a formality of what they have to do. We didn't have that before, with the form and everything. Also, making sure that they realize that, you know, if it's not SPED approved, you can't, you know, there was a bunch of, that's why Sharon had pulled it, for a specific reason. But also, when we have kids that want to go to a private school and it's more than Sanford, they realize and they understand before they do that, that this school will only pay the same amount as we pay Sanford, and the difference is picked up by the parent.
All right, but when you went to the private school,
Yeah.
there was some type of insurance, an extra
A
insurance.
user fee we paid.
There was something, so I don't want to be stuck with that.
There's nothing in the policy that suggests that.
Well, it says we'll pay, you know, half,
We pay,
or I mean, we'll pay the tuition cost up to whatever Sanford
Right.
Right.
costs to send them to Sanford.
right,
All right.
So for just kind of simple terms, if it's 10.5 to go to Sanford and you want to go somewhere and it's 11, you owe the 5, the balance.
Right.
And even if that's a user fee or whatever that is,
right.
No, the
It's on
user
you.
fee was on top of
Yeah, it
everything
was on
else for
top.
their
that sounds,
maintenance.
that sounds like some, yeah,
There was
that's
some
how.
type of insurance.
Yeah, we don't address that in a policy. We say there's a dollar amount,
No,
and if it's less than that, it's not like you get a refund. It's 10.5's our cap. The other thing I want to make a remark on, and policy committee knows this because we worked, there's some dates that don't work for this particular vote that'll be actually a March vote in the policy. There's a window in February, without looking at it, I think it's the first couple of weeks of February, you have to make
Where
some
people
choices.
has to make the
Have to let
choice.
us know,
Yeah.
so that, you know, because Sanford needs to know, and
Yeah.
and these other schools need to know what's their high school population look like. Because registration, really, pre-registration begins in late March. We're gonna have to amend, passing this policy in March, I'll have to amend with a letter that goes along with this, and an amendment that says for this year, we're changing the dates as a one-time only, and then the policy will
Yeah.
kick in February next year. Yeah,
Yeah, February 14th.
Valentine's Day, which is Thursday. And you're not passing it until March, so that's why we need to amend it.
Right.
okay. Okay,
Okay.
so now we have the first read of BDG, School Attorney Legal Services. We didn't have one of those.
What are you looking at?
EDG,
Right, and you know what?
EDG.
I know it isn't listed on the agenda.
it's here.
I know, it's in the packet, but it's not in the agenda. Wait a minute,
So can we add that?
yeah. It's in your packet, right?
Yep.
But some of these are on the backside.
Yeah,
of
in
half the
policy
readings.
committee, we looked at it, so we need to add that to the agenda, okay? So that'll be another change that Jen will have to put in. As I read this, we have there's 7 policies listed, the
yeah.
lawyering one isn't listed.
No,
Right.
and there's one, and it's on the.
So let's call it
back.
728.
728.
728, can you name that for me, please? I'll write it in and,
BDG dash, and then it's school attorney, legal services.
okay, that's clear enough for the camera. School attorney,
Legal
Slash.
services.
Slash legal services.
you bet.
And this is a first read.
Yeah, okay.
And that just basically, puts in policy what we do in practice, is if we need a school attorney, we call a school attorney.
And it's on the back side or the front side of school closings, EBCE, which is further in the numbers here.
Now, what was this one for? You starting to say something? BDG? No?
It's,
saying
No,
why
I'm
we're
just
doing
saying, it wasn't listed on the agenda,
Oh.
but it's in your packet.
it is now.
And on the back side is something else here.
You do have 2 policies that are just a review. Those are the ones, JLCDA for medical marijuana in schools.
Right.
And IHBAC child fine. And you're gonna find that they are marked in red for what those changes are.
So all you did was change primary to designated.
Correct.
Right.
Basically.
Child find has a nice little sentence added.
Yep. Very few changes.
So 2 of them have to be,
Well, there's 2 for the
Voted on?
first reading.
no, 2 for a second reading, right?
Yeah.
So that means we have to vote on those?
Yeah. And the second reading is reporting child abuse and neglect. That would be the second reading.
JLF,
Yeah.
and then JLFA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to
That's the
pass 1 and 2. 7-1 and 7-2 are what you gotta pass tonight, if you choose to.
You have it.
Yep.
Just a quick reminder on the ones that you're voting on, 721 and 722, as we discussed last month. The changes we made to those had to do with changes in state law to keep us in compliance with changes at Augusta.
Okay with that? The second reading?
If you want, I'll make a motion to accept JLF, reporting child abuse and neglect, and JLFA, child sexual abuse, prevention and response.
And I'll second that.
All those in favor? Now, what was it? See, now, there's something else that's on the back or something else here. Oh. On the back of JFABA, school choice policy, on the back page of that is the medical marijuana in schools. And then the other part of school choice policy is here, and the
Oh, okay.
applications on the back side of that.
Yeah.
When you're ready for your second read on the school choice policy, I'll have the addendum letters to parents written. It'll be part of your packet for March.
Those are just first reads, so we don't have to do anything,
No, you're done with policy.
unless you have questions.
Well, we have the school closings and cancellation. This is the first read. EBCE. Which we never had. I mean, there's a lot in that book that just don't exist.
And again, that's just putting to policy a practice that we have, which is a right to close school if we feel inclement weather is a risk to not transport children to school.
And not that anything was wrong, all these have legal references, it's just that things just weren't
Right.
in the book, that's
Yeah.
all. It's not-
Just tightening it up. Actually, this was a ton of work for the policy committee. I commend you two for hanging in there. That was a pretty long meeting. We've looked at looking at some of the stuff.
Oh, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
A lot of it was,
A lot of verbiage.
yeah.
Too many words. In plain English. Well, all right, so what are you gonna do? You wanna,
There.
We don't have
you
to
okay with that? You're all set with
Yeah.
that? Okay, all right, okay.
Were you guys gonna vote on the two that you're reviewing?
You did.
This is
The
Well-
reviews, we have to vote on the reviews?
Yeah.
on
The
the first
medical
reading?
marijuana and the child fine,
Okay.
Yeah.
that you will adopt them as changed, written?
Which ones are, oh, those two are
726 and
reviews.
727.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the changes, or the review, of IHBAC, child find, and JLCDA, medical marijuana in schools.
And I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
Okay, now we, negotiations, update. Oh, we're not gonna, right.
Well,
If there's any-
certainly the negotiators can. I just want to make a comment that we're going to do a quick 7-4 on snow days. That'll take just a few seconds.
Well,
We're
that's-
going to go
that
into
was part of
executive
the-
session. Yeah, we'll go into executive session in the library and then come back. But if you want to give a public update on the process, you'll be voting on this coming out of executive session either
We
way.
are in the library, so we're gonna go.
I mean, I meant conference room. We're going to meet in the conference
Okay,
room. That conference room,
yes.
yes.
I mean, that's all they're gonna say anyway
Okay.
about that, I'm just, you know. so-
Well, do you wanna do this, you're saying you wanna do the snow day one?
Yeah, so the snow day makeup plan, we're into 4 days, and tomorrow's looking pretty sketchy right now. And last year, we had 6 days, the year before, we had 7 days. So, school cancellations is just a fact of life, and we build our calendar. We don't build in 5 days, and we don't remove them if we don't use them. We build a calendar, and every day we take, we add a day onto the school calendar. So, if tomorrow were to be a cancellation, we're now at 5, and that's a five-day school week. So, in the past, the school board has approved, which is a state-approved plan to try to get some of those days back. The state has decided that it's a 5-hour school day, so if we can find 5 hours of instructional time, that will relieve us of a school day. And I usually make this decision in April, when I think we're out of the snow, kind of out of the snow days, you know, probably done, about Easter. And what we've done in the past is we've had kids stay through Wednesday, stay through till 2:30, and just move DRD back. So we still do it, we do everything we normally do, we just have the kids stay an extra hour. Well, if we do 5 of those, that gives us a day back. What I'm asking is just to think about, I've already done a Wednesday where we had a delay and I had kids stay. Tomorrow's another Wednesday. These are hitting us on Wednesdays. So in thinking about this in March, I'm going to come back to you with something to vote on. And what I'm going to be asking is maybe we retro last Wednesday and this next coming Wednesday as part of a plan. That would be the only change that I would be coming with, because we've been getting hit on Wednesdays. And if I'm already having kids stay, like when we had when we have a delay, I'm not having them go home at 1:30 on a
No,
Wednesday.
on a Wednesday.
I'm keeping them until 2:30. So I grabbed that extra hour that day. So I'm going to give you a plan in March, and as soon as that's blessed, I can start moving our Wednesdays to 2:30. I think I'd rather do it in March this year and not wait till April, because there's only so many Wednesdays left to get us out to June. There's only so much time we can have. And I also got to talk to both the teachers union and the ed techs union to ensure that they're okay with that, because it's a change in work conditions, but they've been very supportive too, because they can see that it's a day at the other end of the calendar if they stay an hour.
Right.
And we just need to make those adjustments. So there's some formalities I need to make, but I'll be bringing that to you in March, not April this year. Okay? That's it, just an update.
Okay.
Wonderful weather.
So,
So I'll make a motion to go into executive session per MRSA 4056A Personnel Matters
5:25 PM.
at 5:25.
And you need a second on that,
Second it?
okay? So, we're gonna move
We
into,
need to vote.
you gotta vote,
All
and
in
we'll
favor,
move.
yeah.
Roland,
All in favor?
we're not gonna be very long. We just got some language to go over, and then we're gonna come back and go into session, and then we're gonna adjourn. We're gonna be a little bit early for the budget meeting. With your permission, do you wanna start early?
It doesn't matter.
Perfect, that's a yes, okay?
I
Because that gets us out early.
did tell you that I would make this meeting.
Here you are. Yes, that's why I'm asking you, because if you're the chair of the Warren Finance, and you want to move it up, we'll start when we get out of executive session, because we're a pretty lean group.
I'm amenable to.
Okay, thanks, Roland. You guys ready? We'll be back in just a minute. Virginia.
I am now.
So I have the, just so it's on, I have the minutes of coming out of executive session. I'll give to Jen for the minutes for the meeting. So we're back in regular session at this time.
Yes, there were two.
Anything happened while we were gone?
Kept on snowing.
Kept snowing.
Kept on snowing.
Say aye.
Good.
Plows are out.
Here's 9-1.
Yep. Here we
We're gonna
go.
get to the budget
No
meeting a
business.
little bit early, which is good. Maybe 10 minutes early.
Okay.
Okay, we did no business. Vote on the professional staff contract.
Close. Standish.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to accept the new professional staff contract that is a 3-year contract.
Second it?
Any discussion?
I would like to say that meeting with the teachers, Mary and I met with them without any lawyers or any school management people, and it was excellent. They were nice, quiet,
wonderful.
cordial meetings, you know what I mean? Like, we just kind of did our business, and that was it. It was great. It was quick.
And quick.
I've been in a lot of these, and I was in all of these, and Amanda and Mary do a fantastic job representing the school committee, and it was a very amicable process. Kim did a great job at giving us the data when we needed it.
And the minutes.
And the minutes, and I think then the process was efficient, and it was well done.
Yep, I hope we can do that in 3 years.
Thank you very much.
We need to vote.
Yep. All those in favor are voting for the new professional staff contract?
Yep.
Okay.
No old business?
Yeah. Any old business?
There's none.
Okay, so I guess we're able to adjourn
I make a motion to
committee?
adjourn the school committee meeting
and proceed to the budget meeting.
5:51?
at,
5:51 PM.
yes, sure.